am sharing with you guys today exactly what to say when approaching a meeting or trying to get a meeting with a big real estate agent. And I purposely use the words exactly what to say because I had the privilege to go to Phil's certification a month ago. And I will tell you guys that, and when I think of one word going into that and leaving it, it was humbled. And I know, Dave, that you invited me here to speak, and I'm going to share my script with you guys in just a second. But up until about a month ago, I thought that I was a good communicator. I think my husband might tell you different, but in my mind, I thought I was a pretty good communicator. I communicate a lot on video. I communicate a lot with clients. And that is typically a compliment that I get, is that I have the ability to dumb things down, if you will. And then I went to the certification of exactly what to say. I had already read the book a couple of times. And I was like, wow, the small differences in the way we phrase things and the way that we word things and the true, genuine curiosity that we have about a human soul is so important. But I'd argue it's more important than ever right now, because in the interview that Dave and I had last week, where I was sharing that as a loan originator right now, it's a challenging market. I kind of get tired of hearing the challenging market, but it's a challenging market, and our conversations with our clients and with our real estate agents are more important than ever. And so truly being a student, I'm a student. I have definitely not mastered this. I'm 4 weeks post the event, and I still struggle with the curiosity standpoint, but I think the way that you guys set the SCRIPT-a-PALOOZA up is this is a safe space for us to learn, to grow together, to thrive together, and be curious together. So I welcome any constructive criticism. It helps me get better. But that's what I'll be bringing to you guys today, Dave, is how to land an appointment or a meeting with an agent. I don't know what you said, but I think it's probably just to go into it. So I'm going to dive right into it. And what's fantastic is that there's a formula. It's not my formula. It's actually Phil's formula. And Phil's formula is one of the best ways to open a conversation or a dialogue with a partner, whatever kind of partner that it is with the formula of OFQ. So if you're sitting there at your desk right now, I definitely recommend grabbing a pen, write this out. Here's what this stands for. O is your opening. It's a polite opening. So the way that you DM somebody or you text somebody, or if you're calling them, start that with a polite opening. The second is a mutual fact. So the F stands for fact, and you want to have a common fact with one another, which I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that. The third one is the Q, and it's an easy to answer question. Emphasis on easy, which you think is easier said than done, but I'm going to give you my example script that I've been using over the last 4 weeks, and y'all can, Phil's probably going to give me a lot of coaching on it, but this is what I have been using, and it's been working really, really well. My method in this has been through the form of a social media DM or message. So that's the method. I think that's important, because how it would look is a little bit different if I was, of course, on the phone or in a text message. And so I'm usually responding to a real estate agent's post that they may have made, or a Instagram story that they may have made. Maybe they just had a big closing, or they had a record-breaking month. And so my polite opening is, congrats, I see that you're killing it. That's my polite opening. My mutual fact is, we don't know each other much other than here socially. So that's my mutual fact that we have in common. I said, I was wondering if you're still growing a team here locally in DFW. To me, that's an easy to answer question. Now, before I went to the certification, my word vomit was about a paragraph long, and it was too much words. It wasn't easy, and I would get ghosted. But when I keep it really short and brief like this, I get a response back almost always. And they typically just respond with, yes, I am. And this is so vague that what it's doing is it's setting the stage for curiosity, which is the first most important thing that we need to have, is genuinely being curious enough to, why is she asking me this? You know, does she have a lead? Is she trying to solicit my business? There's so many questions at this point. Here's where it gets tough, and where I failed constantly, and where I still fail, to be honest, is I have this knee-jerk reaction to go in for the kill to get the appointment. And really what that means is I don't dance long enough. And so I'm trying to get better at it. So here's my dance. Rather than going straight in for the appointment, like, hey, let's get together and meet, I say, so after I've said, I was wondering if you're still growing a team, I say, okay. And are you looking to add more agents to your team, like newer agents or seasoned agents? And I normally get a response back, and usually it's still brief, like, yeah, both, or yeah, newer agents, you know, whatever. And I'm like, okay, got it. And I bet you have some sort of training that you provide to help with like lead generation or marketing. Is that typically done weekly, monthly, virtually? What does that look like in your office? And I'm using voice inflection now, and I'm pausing now. The way that it looks in the DMs is it's ... And that's intentional. It's so I can't show you that in my DM, but I want you guys to get the message that I'm purposely adding pauses there. And so they'll typically respond like, yeah, we get together weekly. Typically it's virtual, whatever they respond with. And so here's going in for the kill. And so I say, so if you want, I just ran a chat GPT course for a local group, and the feedback was incredible. Maybe I could possibly come by your next meeting and teach the same course to your group. In fact, you could invite some of the recruits that you're looking to add to your team. How does that sound? Or would that be okay? And so the OFQ is what I've learned, that when I am trying to go after that big fish, I don't lead with, wow, great job on a closing. Do you want to go have coffee? Or, wow, I've got this great loan program and I'd love to show it to you. That is going in for the kill right away. It creates no curiosity. You're not doing any kind of dance. It's kind of putting a period at the end of the conversation. Which why some of you might be getting ghosted. They don't care to respond. You just sound like everybody else. But how you do the opening, how you have the mutual fact, how you have an easy to answer question. And then I will tell you guys, the hardest part is the dance. I still struggle with it. I was just practicing this with Deborah the other day, and she was like, dude, you just asked me to go, straight for the kill. And I'm like, oh, it's so hard. But use that formula when you're trying to court the big fish. And I would say, if you're doing it on social media, please do a little bit of research on who you're courting. I had somebody, I don't know if they've read Phil's stuff, but they came to me and they said, hey, Denise, and they did an opener, and they said, are you still doing mortgages in DFW? And quite honestly, I was offended, because if you follow me or pay any kind of attention to me, I eat, sleep, and breathe mortgages in DFW. So you're not paying attention to me, which now you just insulted me. So I will say that when you're using this formula, do some research on the person. Don't lead with something that could come across as insulting, but use that formula. You won't get ghosted. Practice it, share it with your teams. It's awesome. And it's definitely helped me book appointments with big fish. I'm talking about like the big producers that have teams. It's helped me get into their meetings and present. And I use Chat GPT, but y'all, I switch it up all the time. It might be an LLPA presentation. It might be an interest rate presentation. It might be cold call, like whatever it is, use your ammo that you have in your bag. Whatever your ammo is, use it. But you got to do the dance, and you got to do that OFQ in order to even get a seat at the table.